Here in Stockwell, protesters from the animal charity, the Humane League UK, gathered outside a Lidl to protest against the supermarket's connections with animal cruelty. I spoke with Matthew Chalmers, PR officer for the charity, who spoke about the importance of the protest.
Well, I think it's really important to keep up consistent pressure against Lidl. So what we're doing here essentially is that Lidl profits off the use of fast-growing breeds of chicken, what we call Franken chickens, because they have such terrible health problems. They're basically genetic monsters. They have suffering coded into their DNA because they grow so quickly. We're asking people to basically think about why it would be okay to treat any animal like this. Like, why do they deserve to be selectively bred in such a way that, you know, they're growing from birth to slaughter weight in 35 days. You know, that's if a human baby grew that quickly, it would be equivalent of them reaching the size, the weight of an adult tiger in about 2 months. I mean, it's absolutely absurd. And the suffering this causes is, you know, it's apparent to see here on the placards. So I think people need to take from this event, you know, think about where their food comes from, and think about, is it really justified to make animals suffer in this way, especially when we don't have to, because there is an alternative.
In investigation videos obtained by the British animal charity Open Cages, fast-growing chickens were shown to be living in horrific, cramped and filthy conditions. The fast-growing is said to be responsible for much of the suffering uncovered by recent investigations into Lidl's suppliers. The fast-growing chickens are often prone to diseases, including green muscle disease, organ failure and heart attacks. Matthew protests the treatment would call for prison time if done on domesticated animals.
You wouldn't treat any other animal like this. If you treated domestic animals in this way, you'd go to prison. And these animals, they're suffering so much. Not only are they heavy, they can barely walk because of this fast growth, but one of the most tragic things about it is they have all their natural instincts, like pretty much unchanged from when they were wild birds. So they have a desire to move about, to play, to explore, but their bodies, their genetic prisons basically, don't let them do that. And I just want people to think, you know, is it okay to do this, especially when it's unnecessary? Would you do it to a dog? Would you do it to a cat? And then ultimately, what is the difference between a chicken and something like that? They can feel pain, they can suffer, they can feel joy. The science is absolutely crystal clear on that. And so I just encourage people to think, if it's not okay for one species, then why is it okay for another?
Chris, who has been volunteering for the charity for several months, believes the suffering of chickens is often neglected and not taken as seriously.
Chickens get a pretty bad rap. Like, I think there's definitely a kind of general perception, right, that chickens are somehow less, they feel pain less than other animals, or they're less intelligent than other animals. Science has proven the exact opposite. Like, certain breeds of chicken have been proven to be as smart as some dogs. They feel pain, they feel a sense of empathy, they feel a sense of, they feel a sense of like overprotectiveness is again one of the findings from scientific studies. So yeah, I don't know. The question I think for me is like, why should we care about other animals more than chickens?
Lidl maintains that they strongly oppose of the cruelty to animals. However, the Humane League UK state they will continue to protest until Lidl signs the Better Chicken Commitment policy and end its use of fast-growing chickens.